What? It's Saturday. Wow. It's May 27th, 2023. A lot to cover. A lot to talk about. A lot has happened this week, positive and negative, and we'll get to that on this episode. But real quick, Danny, how's your week? How's everything going?
So far, so good. About to move into a house, and I did some furniture shopping yesterday. So bought a new couch set,
How expensive was that?
$2,800.
So crazy how expensive everything is, huh?
Everything is expensive. I mean, even furniture, even going to like a decent discount one. We got like a moderately good couch because it's something that we're gonna use a lot. So we want something that doesn't suck, something that we know has value and it's gonna be used a lot. And of course, my girlfriend wants like modern farmhouse theme,
Which is cool.
which is like the popular thing right now for
Super popular.
home style. So it's almost cool with this couch set that you can build it like kind of like a, I don't know, like piece it together however you want. So it's like,
Interesting.
here's a piece of the couch. You can put the armrest here, or you can put the armrest here, and then you can have a middle if you want, and then you can have another piece, an armrest, and then boom, you have yourself a sofa. Do you want it to be a recliner? Sure, we have that add-on too, which we got. That's electric. And then they do the same thing. Okay, here's another piece with an armrest either on the left or the right. Combine it too. Bam, there's your love seat. You want it with a reclining option? Sure, it's in there. So
Interesting.
that's how we did it. We just basically built our couch set, which was pretty cool. We went with like a cloth one because we don't like leather.
And you don't have pets, huh?
We don't have pets, but yeah. I mean, we could have pets though in the future. But at the same time, with I don't like leather on when it's hot.
It's not too bad. We don't buy anything but leather.
But well, I'm scared of like it getting ripped.
It does. It sucks. That's the crappy part of leather. It wears out.
Wears out, it could get ripped by like a pet or kids or something. So it would make me panic spending like almost $3,000 on a couch set.
Or more. They're more. They're like $5,000 for a nice couch set. You go to Costco lately, and I just saw they had a set there for $5,000. And I was like, wow.
Oh my goodness, I know it's crazy, right? Before they used to be like $1,000 for a nice one, but of course with inflation, how expensive everything's getting,
Everything.
it just shot up, right? I remember couches were not that bad back when we were kids.
No, well, couches weren't that bad just a couple of years ago. You know, like I remember in college and stuff, they wasn't that bad when we had to buy them for the house when I lived in Tempe. But even just the couch we bought 10 years ago or 7 years ago was, a little high. But right now, if we bought the same couch, you're looking at $5,500 and we bought it for $3,500. And I thought that was a lot. It's just too expensive.
I think your couch now would probably be worth over $5,000 easy.
Well, we saw the same couch, the quality too of the leather and stuff. It's right around 55 to 6,000.
Yeah.
When we buy it for 35, and there's cheaper leather couches, different, the way they're made and stuff. We had to get the recliner, of course, but man, it's just so insane how everything is expensive. But well, I mean, we'll talk more about that.
Inflation. Everyone feels it.
But everyone feels it, and everyone is feeling inflation. But, so are the sons. They're on vacation now, so they're going to be feeling the effect when they're buying their margaritas and stuff at the beach and all that stuff. So let's segue into this week and what's going on in the NBA. Disappointing. Yeah. We'll get into it.
Start off with the NBA playoffs.
Yes, please.
Let me pull it up here. Let's just look at the bracket where we're at now. Nuggets are in. We predicted that they would sweep the Lakers. Or I did, at least. Did you predict they'd sweep the Lakers?
I thought the Lakers would win one, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think we both said one. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, when the Nuggets won the first two games... No, I think the last time we did this podcast, they were up 3-0. I was like, there's a strong chance they could sweep them in LA.
Yeah, and they did.
I lied. I said they would lose one and get the Game 5 win in Denver so they could celebrate it there. Apparently that did not happen.
Danny just lied on TV?
I did. Well, my memory sucks too.
Yeah, we're old.
But now we're still waiting on the Heat and Celtics. Celtics 2-game win streak. I think they believe.
They got momentum. This is what sucks. I thought the Heat were going to be able to win at home, sweep, Cinderella story. They're beat up. They're hurt. A lot of their players were already hurt. Their guard just went down too in that last game. It's just It's 3-2. Celtics could win this game 6 and make it a game 7 at home.
Mm-hmm.
They could win. Boston is hot. They have the momentum, and Miami's beat up.
Well, today, at the point of this recording, because the game's on today, so when this gets released, the game would have already passed. But either way, they're playing in Miami, Game 6, and that is a must-win for the Celtics, so they could win Game 7 back at home.
Well, I mean, every game's a must-win after, a certain point. After Game 4, everything's a must-win. But for the Celtics, I'm telling you right now, if the Celtics win this game, they're going to win the series. They're not going to lose at home with this kind of momentum, history on their side, saying no team has come back from 0-3 and win it, But Jimmy Butler is probably, at this point, his name is Jansport because he's just carrying the whole team, man. It's just not even, he's getting worn down. I mean, he's been playing 100%, high octane this whole playoffs. He needs help. He needs someone to step up.
They definitely got some shooters out there. I think they need a little bit more help defensively.
One of the Butlerettes need to come up. If it's Kevin Love or someone else, or if it's a bench player, someone needs to help him out.
But yeah, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
I'm gonna say Miami wins. I think Jimmy's just he's gonna leave it all out on the court today. He's just gonna play. He's gonna leave it all out where he's not gonna probably have any energy left for the last game. He knows if the Heat don't win this game, they could lose the series. So he's gonna come out punching.
Absolutely. They should have won already when you're up 3-0. Okay, you lose one in Boston. Okay, but you have to go, take it all the way home. But okay,
it's hard. It's hard. First of all, Miami's not even supposed to be here, right? On paper, they're the worst. They're the worst team right now because their regular starters aren't playing. They're not in there. They're hurt. They're on the bench. You see during the game, they're wearing civilian clothes. They're in trouble. I'm telling you right now, they lose tonight, they're done. They're done. Full haul. Trade Jimmy. Trade him to the Suns.
Trade Jimmy Butler to the Suns.
Jimmy, coming to Phoenix. You'll love it here. We'll give him Da and Chris Paul. We'll throw in a car.
I don't think they'd give up Jimmy Butler. Honestly,
Jimmy's not going
anywhere.
anywhere.
Heart
He's
soul
staying
of
there.
the team right now.
And Miami's going to rebuild if they don't win or lose. They're going to have to do something. But if they lose,
well, they got injuries.
Yeah,
that's the excuse. Well, yeah, they'll make some rebuild, but they're going to build a team around Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
But Celtics, if they win it in Miami, I think they could win it all.
Oh, well, not all. I don't think you're stopping the Nuggets.
I meant
the series,
Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they're going to win the Eastern Conference. They win tonight, it's over.
But, all the Heat have to do is win one. Celtics have to win two. It's a long road to win 4 in a row, but they might prove it.
Did you watch the last 2 games?
Yeah. So when the Celtics' first one was just a blowout, so it's like, okay, what happened? Is it because of the injuries the Heat are dealing with right now?
Second game was closer. Mm-hmm. Or the last game that they played was closer, but to your point, I don't know, man. That's in the past. You got to worry about today. Handle your business today. Mm-hmm. Can Miami win? Do you think they're going to win?
Well, it's a reflection on coaching. Like, we have to do something different.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's on the players. I hate that when the whole coaching thing. I hate when they blame it. They're always going to blame the coach. We talk about this.
You're so right about it, yeah. They blame the coach 100% of the time. Like, oh, it was bad coaching, that's why they lost. But when they start winning, they praise the players. They don't praise the coaching.
The players are off. They were off last game, big time. And then you're going to say it's the coach's fault because your star player's missing shots? It's not fair. I hate that when they blame the coaches. Like Monty, should he have been fired? I don't know.
I still disagree with that. But to this, whomever wins in the Eastern Conference, it has to go up against a well-rested Nuggets team.
Well, a well-rested Nuggets team who believe. They believe. I'm picking. With the Heat I'm picking the Heat, of course, because I'm a big Jimmy Buckets fan. Celtics go, I want the Nuggets to sweep them. I hate Boston. I've always hated them since the Bird Magic days.
Really?
Yeah, I just did. Just when I was a kid, I used to watch. I was at the tail end of that rivalry, but it's still extended. Those old rivalries extended to Kobe. Watching Kobe play against Boston's big three with Kevin Garnett and those guys. Although it was only a couple seasons, but that was fun to watch. Ray Allen.
So if we're talking about the finals, I think it's going to be the Nuggets. I don't know what game yet. I might say Game 5.
I think Nuggets win it all. I'd rather see Miami win, but
what game?
How many games?
Yeah, for the finals. So if you think it's Miami versus Nuggets,
7.
Game 7.
Let's go 7 games. No, this is the last series. Let's just go 7 games. Let's go big. I don't want to see a sweep if it's the Heat. If the Heat lose in 7, I'm good with that. But if the Celtics go, I want to see a sweep.
Okay. Sweep. I say Game 5. You say sweep. No, but either way, we believe the Nuggets.
Nuggets are just so much stronger right now.
And rested.
You got to give Joker his props. This is his coming out party.
I mean, okay, so Game 1 is June 1st. That's not long. So whomever wins the Eastern Conference, they're going to go in pretty beat up. They're not healed up.
They're going 2 games later, yeah, because if it goes 7, I think it's on the 29th.
Yeah, if it goes 7th, then you just have, 3 days of rest?
Yeah, 3 days of rest, and then one of us travel, because they're traveling to Denver. I just think Denver's going to win it. I'd love to see the Heat win, but they might not even get to the final.
Well, Denver's never won it, so it's like,
Which is cool. I don't think they've never been in it either. So it's good for them. That's one thing they can say on the Suns is, hey, we won before you did.
Ooh, yeah, because the Suns been there 3 times and didn't win?
Yep.
All right, so anything else on the finals before we go to the next topic?
Let's go to the next topic.
Which is possible head coach for the Phoenix Suns. So we looked at this list by ESPN. Nick Nurse, Doc Rivers, Kevin Young, or Jordi Fernandez.
None.
You want none of them?
I don't.
Really? None of those guys?
Who do you like? And I'll talk after you.
Nick Nurse or Doc Rivers, if that's my choices.
Well, Doc can't get it done if we're talking about coaching, right?
Well, how many times has he been to the finals?
I
will look that up for you.
He's been to the finals a couple times as far as like Eastern or Western Conference finals, and he's given up 3-1, 3-2 leads and not get to the final. So Nick Nurse would probably be my first choice, but what about the coach of the Bucks? Is he already going somewhere else?
Keep talking because
yeah.
I'm fine. I see that he's been in 2 of them, but did he win those?
2008, I think he won with Boston, right?
2008 and then 2010. Wow, that's 2 years ago.
Was he the coach in 2008? I think he was. Pull up, see what his stats are. Nick Nurse won with Toronto, right? Just a couple seasons ago.
Is that the thing?
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like he was...
NBA championships at the 2008.
Eastern Conference 2 years later.
Boston, you're right.
So he has 1 ring. I don't know. I wouldn't mind Doc Rivers, to be honest. I don't want a young Kevin Young or Jordi Fernandez when you don't have a young team.
Doc Rivers' experience. He hasn't won one over a decade, but he has a championship win, and he gets to the playoffs. He was just over 500 in playoff wins.
He has a resume, so.
See, he has the resume. He's established veteran coach. But do you want a veteran coach, or do you just say, hey, let's start fresh with a young coach who has potential?
Why aren't you talking to Kevin I'm sorry, your 2 starters, right? Durant and Booker should be asked those questions like, hey, who do you think you mesh with? Do you have a relationship with any of these coaches? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Because you can't hire someone and find out Durant's doesn't like Kevin Young. And Kevin Young's already in the system. Is he bringing the same system, or does he have something completely different?
I mean, you'd hope he has something different, at least different rotation-wise, how he utilizes players. But, yeah, I mean, he was just under Monty Williams, so it's what he knows right now.
Does he have the backing of Booker Is Booker going to sign off and say, yeah, dude, that's a great, let's promote him. Let's do it. Or is he going to say, he's the same thing as Monty? And Jordy Fernandez, we're going to get an assistant from Sacramento that we don't know anything about, that the players don't. Like, I don't know. I don't think this is the team that you can take any chances and hire a young coach, kind of like the Cardinals did. Hire this young coach, see if we can run his system and find out that we can't win any games with him.
I mean, Suns want to win the championship now.
They have to.
They're not thinking about rebuilding a team. They're thinking about, we want to win next year. So if you have that mentality, I'd probably go with Doc Rivers then. Like, we have to win immediately. Or Nick Nurse, right? This is the coach that can help us win right away. Not we're rebuilding, we're meshing, and then we're going to become a dynasty. It's we need to win now.
I think Nick Nurse, though, the thing is you had 1 year Kawhi. Kawhi came in and was the best player in the NBA that year. So he kind of like lucked out, got this guy, came in, crushed it, and after that, didn't really do much after that. You don't hear anything about Toronto. As soon as Kawhi left, they did nothing after or before. It was just that one magical year. That's it. That's a unicorn year. Doc, I'd rather go with Doc. He's probably more well-respected. But again, you need Durant and Booker to sign off on this.
Yeah, I mean, do they have a good relationship with him? I mean,
yeah, do
he's
they?
A well-known coach, so I would assume that they know.
They probably
well.
do. But you gotta look at it too. You can't get a young coach and how much leash are you going to give him? How much leeway? Because in the reality is you have no first-round draft picks till 2042. Not really, but that's how it feels like, right? It's just you don't have no picks for the rest of the 2020s, I think. It's just so crazy. Like, you have to win now. Those picks don't mean anything as long as you're winning. If you're losing, oh my gosh, God save the queen if we have a lottery pick and we give that to someone else. Like, no, you have to win now. It goes from coaching to the players.
So, like Kevin Young, who they already know, but is he the guy who can win next year? We're not saying let's get to the playoffs. We are a playoff team.
They are a playoff team, yeah.
We have to get to the championship and win it. Is Kevin Young the answer?
Someone's got to sign off on him. Someone's got to say, and I wouldn't mind if they took a chance on him as long as, like, there's a reason. Hey, he's in the running because of X, Y, and Z. He's proven to do this, that, and everything else. Or are you just saying, hey, we need to save money? Let's get an assistant coach that will take a lot less than these other coaches because they want their chance.
I thought Ishbia wasn't worried about money.
No, he's not worried about money. So why don't you go straight for Doc or even the coach in Milwaukee? I don't understand why he's not on our list.
That's true, right?
Yeah,
unless he just recently won 2 years ago?
Yeah,
against the Suns.
Unless he's going to Philly, that's another good job. So we'll see.
Unless he has that lined up, right? Any more on the head coach?
No, that's it. Let's just go ahead and sign Doc Rivers. It's going to happen soon. Oh, real quick, they were talking about Luau Deng, or what? Ty Lue. They're talking about Ty Lue. What?
I'll look him up.
They would have to wait for Ty Lue because I think they're in there right now, or I don't know. I just think the Suns need to really look at not just all options, but they got to look to see what's going to mesh with their team. They only have a small window. We don't know if we're trading Chris Paul. We don't know if we can unload DeAndre Ayton. Like, they got to figure out, is Ty Lue going to be the guy?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna find out. Ty Lue I think he'd be a good fit here in Phoenix. That I would sign off on Ty Lue over any of those other guys, but we'll see. I would ask people to leave a comment and see who do you want as a coach. Why is Kevin Young in the running? What's the pros and cons on Kevin Young? Does he run something different or not? So
I'm just gonna pull up this picture. I was looking for a decent picture of Ty Lue, but I mean, he was the head coach of the Clippers.
Yeah.
I mean, losing the first round like that against the Suns, but I mean, maybe Booker and Durant have respect for him.
Yeah, he's pricier than the other assistants, but I say give him a shot. I would rather have Ty Lue than anyone else. Depending, again, it depends on the players. Like if they're going to sign off on him, they have a relationship, and they're saying, "Hey, let's get Ty." Listen to the players. You know, you have no time to sit and wait. And what if someone else scoops him up because you're taking your time? Philly can scoop him up. You know, Philly's a good job. So we shall see.
All right, anything else for the Suns?
That's it. Let's move on.
Move on. So this is a recent news about Cardinals release wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins after 3 seasons. What do you think is going on with that?
They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get a deal done. This hurts the Cardinals, period. Yesterday I did a quick tweet and then a quick video that I posted on our site just because this is a big deal because we're here in the Phoenix area. DeAndre is a top receiver. You know, he did a podcast recently and he pretty much said that there's 31 other quarterbacks I'd rather play for, or 31 quarterbacks I wouldn't mind playing for. That's the whole NFL.
So you lost respect for Kyler Murray.
There's a lot of rumbles that there's a lot of players that don't respect Kyler Murray. And there's a scenario where the Cardinals could move off of Kyler Murray.
What do you think it is?
If they finish as bad as they're going to this year, and they have the number 1 pick, and Caleb Williams is there, that quarterback from USC, there's a scenario where they could have the 1st and 2nd pick in the draft because they have Houston's pick, right? They can go get Marvin Harrison Jr. as a wide receiver, and they can go get Williams out of USC. Right there, you have it kind of like Cincinnati has with their quarterback and their young receiver, you know? The Cardinals could have that, and I think they would look in the mirror and say, you know what, let's get rid of Murray. We've had plenty of seasons to see what he can do. Let's cut him off.
What do you do with the contract? You
have to eat it.
Just eat it?
You have to eat it.
Dude, the Cardinals eat so much, though. I think they're done paying off one of the coaches, if not still paying off. They're still paying off Cliff Kingsbury. Do they have to pay off DeAndre Hopkins still on his contract?
I'm not sure how that works. I know it's a lot of dead space.
So
There's some guarantee money.
They're absorbing a lot of money right now. Players and coaches not available on that team. They're out somewhere else.
I think they paid the coach 3 more years.
Cliff Kingsbury? Yeah, because he just signed on a 4-year contract. That first year on that contract, they fired him, so he has 3 more years.
Which is crazy to me.
3 years of every 2 weeks, you get a direct deposit of a fat check.
I think that goes away if he signs with another team, though.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
I know it's guaranteed. That's the only guaranteed contract in the NFL.
He signed for another team as I
think USC is a special advisor. I don't know.
something like that, right?
Something where he doesn't
Someone in the comments
conflict.
will tell us, but I know he signed up with a college team.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants to coach NFL anymore. You know, college players have to listen to you because their scholarship and playing time. You know, if they're not playing, they're not going to get scouted and their stats aren't going to go up. In the NFL, you have to play them because the GM's telling you, play this guy. The owner paid a lot of money. You're going to have your prima donnas, and that's probably what he had with Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of coaches, how do you feel about their next head coach for the Arizona Cardinals?
Well,
Jonathan Gannon.
I don't know too much about him, but you told me something about he's ranked dead last or something.
Pull it up.
Now, if he's ranked dead last, maybe it's because he's no experience. And how are they grading these coaches? Because right there, that tells me 0-17, baby.
Yep, Arizona Cardinals Jonathan Gannon ranked last in 2023 NFL head coach ranking. I mean, he just came from Philadelphia Eagles as their defensive coordinator. I mean, he has a defensive mindset versus we just had an offensive mindset, right? So maybe someone who just came from a championship team has a defensive mindset. Maybe that's the direction we need to go. And then maybe find a really good offensive coordinator for Kyler Murray. This way the head coach can just focus on the team, not try to do 2 jobs at once, head coach and be the offensive coordinator like Cliff Kingsbury was doing. Now you have someone who's more defensively mindset, probably work with the defensive coordinator. I hope he has a defensive coordinator. I have to look through it. I don't know who it would be right now. But offensively, yeah, they have to have an offensive coordinator. course, Jonathan Gannon's not going to do it. It's going to be someone, hopefully he has someone good with him who can work with Kyler Murray. Maybe that was Kyler Murray's problem. Cliff Kingsbury was doing too many things at once, and it wasn't working out. He couldn't just master one thing, either master being a head coach or master being the offensive coordinator, not both at the same time. You're spreading your resources too thin.
Yeah, but I think there a lot goes. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Cliff Kingsbury fan, but I thought he was a good enough coach. I thought the Cardinals' problem was talent. They didn't have enough talent or heart. I don't think Kyler Murray has enough heart. I don't think he's the leader that you need. Your quarterback needs to be loud out there, leading the charge, taking the hits. You know, when he talks on the press conferences and he doesn't say, "Oh, I need to get better," or "I need to do this." He says, "We didn't execute. We didn't do that." A lot of the good quarterbacks will tell you, "Yeah, I just wasn't on my game today. You know, I need to get better."
Before he got his max contract, they lost, not just lost, but they got blown out on the first round of the playoffs. I don't think you're in a position where you should be asking for a max contract. So I think there's a little bit of the Cardinals management saying, dude, you're not really progressing right now. We need to be deep in the playoffs as a playoff team. But of course they're not. They clearly didn't make it to the playoffs last year. And they're just falling apart. And you have Kyler Murray, who's super rich now. He's a max contract. I mean, if you know your team is not going to be good enough to get to the playoffs and you have a max contract, like how much heart do you really need to put in? Because you're just like, I got paid. I don't care what happens.
He's crushing it right now in Call of Duty, from what I hear. But that's pretty much it. I don't know. Kyler, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I just think it's, if he doesn't do well coming back from his injury, it might be time to move on. You don't have time. You know, we don't have that luxury. Maybe this coach will tell the owners, like, dude, this guy doesn't get it. He's not a leader. He's not leading by example. I could be wrong, and I hope I am. Again, I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan, but I would love to see him turn it around. You know, save some money. Why would you want to lose a quarterback? Maybe we just need to get more talent. We had the receivers. You know, we had Zach Ertz, and he got hurt. So, I mean, it's just it's overwhelming when you see talent get hurt and then you blame it on the talent. It should be next man up, right? The next man up should be just as good or ready to go, right? So I don't know at the end of the day where we go and whose fault is what. Maybe it's time for a rebuild. We're pretty much there.
They're in a rebuild for sure. It's just,
but unload everyone and do a true rebuild. If we finish, if the Cardinals finish 0-17. Everyone's fired. Everyone's gone because that's the worst record in NFL history.
It doesn't even have to be 0-17. It could be as bad as 4-13, right?
Well,
to get fired, everyone fired.
Most of the people fired. I mean, I'm talking players. I think you keep the coaches because the coaches can say, "Hey, look at the talent I had. Look at the drama we had in the locker room. Look." There's a lot of things that can happen, and unless you just say screw it, everyone's gone, coaches, everyone. Let's just go get talent. But then you're in a rebuild for a couple of years because you have all that dead money you have to pay off for a couple of years. So maybe you just sit back and you go a couple of seasons where you have high draft picks. 3 years down the road, you say it's time to go. People are going to go to games. You know, maybe you just lower your prices and expectations. And you know, we've had seasons here where the Cardinals sucked. Sucked. And we might be going through that phase again.
Same old Cardinals.
Boy, we thought it was different for a minute and got excited and they looked really good first couple of years Kyler was here. There were some awesome wins. But now we're at the point where it's going to be the same old Cardinals.
So I know I've been super critical with Kyler Murray. I mean, it's just as a fan's perspective. I hope he turns it around. I hope something sparks a desire to win championships. Right now, I don't see it, but I could be totally wrong, of course. I could be totally wrong.
I'm worried about Buda Baker wanting to leave.
Well, that's the problem. When you have like these talents on the team saying, I want to leave, that doesn't look good, too.
There's something wrong in the locker room. They're just tired of losing, and they're tired of, like, I know Buda Baker's 100%.
He's talented.
His energy is off the charts. Even watching the HBO thing with the Cardinals, like, he is one of my favorite players. After watching that, he is legit,
He,
all heart.
yeah, he's all heart. Exactly what you said. All
But
heart.
he's at the level where, like, if you're not at my level, why are you here? This is our job. This is the only thing we have to do, and you're not doing your job. That's why he wants to leave. There's players on that team. There's people in the locker room that aren't on the same page.
If you don't like it here, go to the XFL or the USFL. This is an NFL. This is like the best of the best, where we get paid way more than anyone else.
It's your career. It's your career. This is why aren't you? Maybe because I don't want to hurt my body, because I want to do. I need to figure out what I'm going to do after the NFL. I want to be a commentator. I want to do this. We don't know. People, when you make that kind of money, you're investing your money in other things, and then your mind's on those other things. You know, maybe they're doing something, and their football is not their number one priority. They're not training as hard as they should be because they're working on their side hustle.
Could be maybe Kyler Murray has a chip on his shoulder because his contract clause had something about limiting his time playing video games and studying time.
You shouldn't have a chip on your shoulder. You should be like, if you're making that kind of money, you're not playing video games. You're just not. You're just not. Like, wake up. What are you? Some kind of
You get up in the morning, you self-practice, throw the football around, you train a little bit, then you go to the training camp, work out with your boys, you stay in after, go over things.
You're the quarterback. You need to lead by example. Another thing about the Cardinals training facility, I heard they have to pay for their food.
They're the only ones.
They're the only one. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
That is embarrassing, a little bit.
No stipend, nothing. You're like, here you go. Unless you're a player that has it in the contract. But think about it. If you're a guy that's making minimum, which is still a lot, you have to pay for all your meals? Come on.
I mean, it's you get a lot of benefits for being a pro athlete, and that should be one of them. I get it.
Especially at the team facility. They should be... How come 31 other teams figured out a way to write it off or do it? How come we're the only team? They'll probably change that because it's embarrassing. Why would you want to? I know it's something small and minute. Someone in the comments going to write, get off your high horse and whatever. No, dude, it's like every other team is doing it. It's like, I'm not looking for a freebie for the players. It's just like, you guys don't care about us enough that you're going to make sure we're eating right. Right? And you want me to pay for this, and some players probably don't want to pay for it, and they're like, hey, I'm going to go eat something somewhere else, like Chipotle or something.
Plus, maybe they, put in good nutrition. If the team's paying for the meal, you're only going to serve them good, nutritious food, not junk food that they have to pay out of pocket.
Right.
But anything else on the Cardinals?
No, we'll see what happens. We'll talk about them, I'm sure, again in the future.
All right, we could talk about. Want to talk about this?
Whatever you want to talk about, it's going to be talked about one way or the other.
Talk about stock market, finances, everything that we feel because of the high inflation. Everyone's portfolios are pretty much down for the most part, unless you have the right picks, especially like NVIDIA or some of the good AI companies, because there's a lot of tech companies that went down.
Oh, a lot of big tech. I mean, I see in my portfolio all the time. Like, inflation's out of control. Groceries are more money. Gas is more money. Every service is more money. And then your portfolio is going down. So it's like, it's just, there's no win. It's like you're getting punched in the face every which way. Every way you turn, you're losing money.
Yeah, every time I go to a restaurant, it's easily going to be $35 a person with tip. It's like, wow, I think I'm kind of need a layoff on going to restaurants. Although I want to support local businesses, but at the same time, it's like, dude, it's getting expensive.
I know. We just went and got some food this weekend. My kids just got last day of school, so we took them out to eat and got a order for my daughter some boneless wings. It was $20. $20 for boneless wings.
How many boneless wings?
Yeah, it was probably like 10 or 12.
That's still a lot. I remember wings used to be like 35 cents a piece.
So cheap. Now it's like $2 a wing. That's like it looked like they had chicken nuggets and just fish fried it or flash fried it.
They bread it so much. I mean, it's not really chicken wings. It's what,
right.
maybe some thigh
a lot of breaded,
or breast.
Yeah.
But they bread it up and fry it up and said, okay, $2
make it look
a piece.
bigger.
Make it look bigger.
Yep. Oh, so smart. We got to do that. Figure a way to do that. But like, well, we talked about this before off air and stuff. Our portfolios look depressing. It's like, when is this going to go back up? and it's going to be a slow climb probably.
Well, this is another thing they preach in finance is that when times are tough, you want to buy it now because when times are good, your portfolio is going to look good. Right now, your portfolio is not looking good. That's when you want to buy because when they come back up, your portfolio is going to be looking nice.
With what money? I have
know,
no
right?
money. It's like,
Like it's easy to say when you have the expendable income, but
Yeah.
when you're in a position where you have no expendable income, they put most of the country, the working class and the middle
Yeah.
class, where they don't have the expendable income to invest. But when times are good, now they have the expendable income, but all the stock prices are expensive, and when you buy it and things go down, then so does your stock portfolio. So it's hard to win.
yeah, it's hard, and then it's hard because that mentality, blood is in the street that you buy when things are bad and sell when things are good. You just can never time the market. Like you can
No.
never buy at the right time, sell at the right time. Because sometimes you buy, you're like, hey, I want to put X amount into this, and then you start seeing it go down more and more. And you're like, oh man,
Well,
I screwed up.
2021, when there was quantitative easing, right, giving out money basically,
QE, yeah,
stock market went up like crazy, and everyone was like, "Hey, I got expendable income now. I'm going to put money in the stock
Yep.
market." And then, a year and a half later, interest rates going up, stock market's going down, and then you're just at
And
a
you lost your
negative
money.
now.
You're
And
negative.
just like, damn it.
Is the government, is the system? They did that
So
on purpose.
now people don't have the expendable income to like really average down.
No,
So
we
you
don't.
just have to wait a long time for it to break even again.
Which is crazy. Well, then like the middle class that are either don't have as much or have they have some wiggle room. Think about all the people that didn't have the wiggle room to begin with. The emergency funds put away. Right now, it's got to be super hard for them to even get by. There's
Yeah.
no jobs. There's no
Well, there's no good paying
there's
jobs.
no good paying jobs. You can get a $10 an hour job at Fry's or
Yeah,
whatever.
there's plenty of those labor jobs out there that don't pay much, right? That we see on the news, like, oh, there's 9 million jobs available, but most of them don't pay well. And then you hear the story of people don't want to work. Is it that they don't want to work or they don't want to pay because they know that pay is still not going to pay their bills? It's not going to pay their rent. You just spent 40 hours a week making a paycheck, but it still doesn't cover your bills.
Yeah, there's I saw this tweet of this guy. I don't know if you saw it. It's like a meme where he says, "I don't want to work anymore.
Right.
I work all these hours and then I have no money." And he's like speaking English and Spanish. I got to pull it up for you. It's so hilarious.
No, I'll look it up. Keep talking about
I
it.
don't know if you're gonna be able to find it, but I'll talk about it real quick the market. It's just pretty bad. If you want to look for that, pull up. Yeah, see if that comes up, and if I see it on there, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's just depressing. Everyone's portfolios. I mean, everyone I talk to at the gym, people in the financial industry, like we're not seeing any. It's just bad with rates, and housing is supposed to go down. No one knows if it's going to go down, but
I can't find it, but I know what you're talking
yeah, just don't worry about it. There's just not enough not enough inventory for housing to go down yet. If there's more inventory, then we would see that.
Tell me what you think of this. In order for housing prices to go down, we need inventory to increase.
Right.
Right now, they're not increasing. Why is that?
No one's moving.
No, a lot of people are not giving up the low
The two,
rates, right? So there's no cycle of that,
there's no cycle of that.
and new homes are not being built fast enough for the fluctuation of a surplus for new inventory.
Well, they don't want to build. Why would you build and have?
Well, they're building, but not too fast, right?
Yeah, they're building, but they're not going to release it. With builders, they release in phases. You're not going to build a ton right now because it's just with the way the market is, the house is not going to be. It's going to be less than what it is right now. So if you're building right now at X price, say 700,000, by the time the house is done in this market, it might be down to 650, 600. That's a loss for them.
Well, let's go over like the 2008 crash, and when the housing was at its lowest in 2012. We had high inventory because builders were building a lot as much as possible because there was a lot of incentive to make money because there was just loans going through like crazy for subprime loans where there's just money just basically just pumping. So inventory is going up. But then when inventory is high, and then you had a crash in the stock market and people lost a lot of money because there was a lot of junk loans. Then you have this high inventory plus a lot of people getting laid off and foreclosed. So what do you do with all these homes that are available? It's just like a lot of buyers, they can pick whatever house they want, and then as a seller, you're competing to try to sell your house because your neighbor just dropped the price 10,000, and he just finally got out of it. It's like, damn it! All right, you try to cut it down 10,000, but your other neighbor cut it down 15, and he just sold it. And you're like, damn it! So you're just trying to sell as fast as possible, so you're not losing the value of your home so much.
No, that's what we were in that situation too. But also, you got to look at it. You're selling your house, say for 500,000, and same house that you have just foreclosed. So now that the value has gone down,
right,
in that neighborhood. But also, you have people that would not just short sell, but like what you just said. You have a $500,000 house. This guy has to move to Texas, has the same house, says, you know what, screw it. I got to get out of here. I'm going to sell for $450 because I have $200,000 in equity in there. You are trying to sell your house for $500,000 because you owe $450,000. You don't have much equity. After you pay off your realtor and stuff, you're not going to have much money. But now that guy sold the same house for $450, you're going to be topped at $450 because the market's going down. And at that point, because the market is going down at such a pace, you might have to sell for $400, $420. Now then you're like, oh, I can't sell because I'll be at a loss.
Right.
And then the whole big foreclosure thing happened, and then that $500,000 house that you thought was worth $500,000 is now worth $300,000. That's how it was.
Yeah, and I'm sure you see all the YouTube videos of all the crash bros out there saying that we're going to have a housing market crash. I don't think there's going to be a crash, man. Inventory is too low to justify it. And people are not moving out because they have two things. They have a low interest rate and they have a lot of equity. So people are not going to get foreclosed on, even if they lost their jobs right now.
There's some people that get foreclosed on.
Sure. Like people who just bought within, like, say, the past 5-7 years. Sure.
Correct.
They're at risk, right? But people who've been in their houses since 2008, they recently refinanced with a interest rate lower than 3%. They're fine.
Yeah, but a lot of those people that wanted to move are looking at their rate going, you know what, I'm just going to remodel my house.
I hear that too.
I'd rather remodel I'll take a small equity line of credit and I'll just, you know what, do up the kitchen, spruce up the backyard. I'm good. You're not going to get rid of that 2.5%, 3% rate right now when rates are what, 7%?
I'll pull it up right now. Let's look at it.
Oh,
As
perfect.
of what, the 27th?
Yeah.
Right there. 7.14% rates. People really feel that rate.
That
They really
sucks.
feel that rate right now. So we had another big jump touching the 7%. I don't think we've had it that bad in a minute. 7.14%. That's a tough one.
Well, let's see what that is today. What's the average price of a house right now? What would
Let's
you
just say
500?
let's just say Chandler, which is 550,000.
Say 550 loan amount, 7.125%, 30-year term. That house payment is $3,705.
That's just principal and interest, right?
That's just principal and interest. Now let's say that same 550 at the 2.5% interest rate, 30-year term. That's $1,000 less. $2,700. No, that's way less. $2,173.
What interest rate was that again?
The 2.5.
Yeah.
That's $1,600 a month.
No one's gonna move and get an extra $1,600 a month.
That's a
mortgage
lot of
payment.
money. $1,600 a month, and that's just for the same price house.
Yep.
Why would you move to the same price house?
Especially if you bought that house a few years ago before the pandemic when it was cheaper at the time.
Yeah.
And people who got that rate just refinanced. Like, dude, I'm gonna have a way cheaper mortgage now.
Yeah, you have the house is worth $550. Say they bought it for $375 before the pandemic, right? 2.5 interest rate, 30-year term. Their house payment's $1,400, $1,481. For the same exact house, that they would have to pay $3,700, double, more than double. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why.
There's no refinances right now. I heard a commercial on the way here. Oh, you should refinance with so and so. It's a good time to refinance. who the hell is not a good time to refinance. The only people refinancing right now are the people that are in extreme debt or have to sell the house because they're getting divorced. Those are the only people refinancing right now. There's no, if you have a 3% interest rate, you're not refinancing to 7. You're crazy, you know, like you're going to have to find another way to pay those credit cards.
Yeah. And another reason, a lot of these crash bros on YouTube talk about, or they don't mention, is that the low inventory, right? They say, oh, the inventory is going to increase. I don't think so. Not at the rate they're going to think it's going to be.
I think the only way it increases is if rates go down.
Even if rates go down, people are going to start buying.
And moving. There's a lot of people on the fence, and they're like, you know what? I can buy now.
This is what it's going to require for inventory to go up, right? Sure, more building, even if they're building at the steady rate they are right now, plus stricter lending. I'm talking about like the only people they're going to lend money to are people who have like a credit score of like 760 or 780 or better.
Yeah, but right now they're introducing right now with the way the industry is, they're making it easier for you to borrow. Like there's companies that are doing 1% down.
Yeah. So people 1% down or
that's so much risk.
Interest, or first year interest buy down or stuff like that, or they tackle your closing costs. But still, you're still going to be stuck with a high payment if you're trying to buy a new house with all these incentives. I don't think that's going to help because to really get the inventory up so houses can be cheaper, I don't think they are. I think where they are now, it might be stagnant at these prices for a while.
No, I would agree with you because the 1% down program, like who's that benefit? Like that's obviously someone that doesn't have money.
No, it's just someone who's just trying to get a house. That's it. Like their goal is to get in a house at whatever it takes.
Because they've been renting for so long and they're trying to get into a home and like, hey, we can put 1% down and we're good. Like, dude, maybe you shouldn't be buying if you only have 1% to get in the house because you're one emergency away from foreclosure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the ability to not let people buy a house that will increase inventories to go up. But right now, there's so many programs that help people get a house. You're like, you don't need much credit. FHA, what's the minimum credit you need?
A lot of companies can go 580. Some can go below.
580 credit score. That means you don't pay your bills very often.
Yeah, you have bad credit for a reason, right? Like
you don't take it seriously. You don't take finances seriously. You don't take paying your bills on time seriously.
They're also trying, which I thought was crazy. Like I don't know if it's linked to Democrats or whoever, but I saw something that they're making it easier for people with bad credit to buy houses.
Oh, right, because like some of the fees of like if you have mediocre credit like 720 or below, you pay a little bit of higher fee. So people who have way bad credit, like the 580s, pay less of a fee. So it's like a balance in there.
I don't know who came up with that. Then why are we working on credit? Why are we trying to be good about paying?
Why are we trying to help people who are not good at paying bills to get into a house?
Yeah, they have a record of not paying stuff. Like I see credit reports all the time. I'm like, dude, you can't pay this? Like, no, we can't afford this. And you want to buy a house? Like, this doesn't make sense.
That was like the logic of the 2008.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, no job, no income? That's okay.
No.
House.
That's almost like the same thing with down payment assistance. There's like a lot of down payment assistance programs where people can pretty much get into a house with just their closing costs. And there's also, some programs where you're pretty much coming in scot-free. I hate to say it, I've had some like VA loans that were really bad credit and had a history of not paying their bills.
All they need is like a minimum, 620 or something like that for a VA loan?
Some can go
and
lower.
You're treated the same across the board.
Yeah.
Even with someone who has like 800 plus credit.
But even so on you can get an exception to go under. I've seen it. But there's people like, there's a history, you have no credit, you have no money. And you're getting in this because you're getting a seller credit. Like the sellers are saying, hey, we'll give you 3% if you buy the house. There's no money down, plus you're getting 3% towards your closing costs. That covers everything. You get in the house for free, but you don't make enough money. You got an exception to go over 50% debt to income.
So day one, they're at risk.
Day one, they're at risk because your debt to income is off of gross. It's not off of net.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get someone approved at 50% debt to income, that's based off your gross, not your net.
Mm-hmm.
So after taxes, you really don't have all that money to buy groceries, pay for your gas, pay for your insurance. How are you gonna live? You're house poor. You're hoping you find a roommate or something to or a side hustle to make sure you're gonna be able to afford this. But our system's pretty broken when it comes to that, and lenders don't care. They're like, oh, he qualifies. It's in the rules. Let's get him in.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
They got that insurance, PMI insurance, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a chance that person's going to flop, but well, those lenders are covered.
Yep. So I mean, that's for like FHA's covered, but VA's different story.
Fees different. I
It's
mean,
government backed, so
it's
it's
government
covered.
backed, right?
Yeah. So it's just I wrote a lot of loans where I'm like, oh, this guy's like, if he gets laid off, he's screwed.
Mm-hmm.
He's screwed. So
Yeah, they're walking on thin ice
correct.
all the way throughout the entire life of that loan.
Yep. So I don't know and then with the rates being where they're at and the payments being as high as they are, I mean, it just costs so much.
So in order for inventory to go up, I mean, would you agree with me that you just have to provide less loans, qualify less people? You can't qualify these people who debt to income is too high and their credit is horrible.
Yeah, because if you're doing what you're doing, what you want to do, what you're saying we should do, you have less qualified people out there able to buy a house. So inventory, it won't get out of control. You'll see more. I don't know.
It'll increase. I mean, that's one way to increase the inventory, right? You have to qualify less people. But then, what candidate's going to say that? What political candidate's going to say that?
Yeah, you're right.
Democrats, that's easily for Democrats. Oh, we're going to get people into a house.
Yeah, well, then they're talking about affordable housing and this and that. I don't know.
And none of them can define what affordable housing means.
Yeah. Just breaking news: the Bucks are hiring Raptors assistant Adrian Griffin as their next head coach.
Okay.
That's pretty big. That's one of the dominoes. I think that's gonna speed things up. I think Milwaukee screwed up on that, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I mean, we'd be wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good move. Milwaukee's a well-established team.
Yeah.
They need a well-established coach, but unless that coach is very well-respected, who knows?
Yep.
They know more than me, apparently. So
All right. So then we have what's next?
we'll talk about rabbit hole stuff. In the mood. What do you think? We'll pull up UFOs.
Yep. Pull that out.
So recently, possible UFO sighting over California military base. Video is emerged of what experts claim to be a mass unidentified flying object sighting. Witnesses describe a triangle formation of lights. Investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell weighs in. He's very well known, that Jeremy Corbell guy.
Take a look at this next video.
I wonder if I
Could
can
this
show
really
this.
be a mass UFO sighting over a military base in California. Videos and photos put out by the podcast Weaponized capture what witnesses say they saw in April 2021. They described seeing a triangular formation of lights hovering above the Marine Corps base. Joining us now is Jeremy Corbell, investigative journalist.
You familiar with that Marine Corps base?
Yeah. 29 Palms, South Desert.
In the middle of the desert?
Yeah, it's by what's the there's like a old people destination there.
Sure.
Palm Springs. Palm Springs.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this UFO sighting is that it's very similar to the Phoenix Lights sighting. With that one, it's just it was a triangular formation that went on over the very popular Phoenix Suns lights. Like most of Phoenix saw that at night. It was just like the same type of lights, triangular formation. And this military base, and I guess this was from 2021, they said, of April.
Yes.
So it's now being released 2 years later. Very similar. And of course, in this video that we saw, it's not flares because it's those lights are up there for a long period of time. That flares don't last that long and hover at the same spot. So it's fascinating what it could be. What are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting that they are barely letting that come out. But All those pictures are from Marines that were on the base that were taking it.
Not just that, but it happened over a military base.
Well, it's desert. It was bound to happen. It's all desert out there, and
It's just a coincidence that it's over a military base.
well, I don't believe in coincidence, right? Like,
Phoenix Lights was a huge one over all of Phoenix. for the most
yeah,
part,
and that
right?
was crazy. That was really crazy. But when we're talking UFOs, it could have been drones, or they saw a body of a ship.
It's unidentified, right?
Yeah.
And of course, you're not going to get military officials to weigh in on it. But I mean, for the most part, especially if I was a military official, like a general or an admiral, I would not admit that we don't know what it is. Because for all we know, that could be like China or Russia messing with their technology and seeing how the U.S. would react and be like, see, they're clueless. We have an edge on them.
Or aliens,
Could be aliens, but why would aliens care about this planet?
because they're probably like, "Dude, these guys are screwing this planet up. Let's just take them out before they screw up an inhabitable planet. Like,
All right,
we're at war. Maybe we're never going to
I'll
see
tell you what.
intelligent life."
Let's have a little rabbit hole theory thing because I got something. This will
Okay.
be fun. So maybe aliens are coming in ever since World War II, right? That's the first sightings because we're throwing out huge bombs, explosives, right? So maybe there's like a galactic governance out here who's really monitoring human beings on this planet, and they're probably thinking, do we really want these guys to expand out of their planet and into the galaxy? They're still not at peace. They're killing each other. Very greedy. They stab each other in the back. Do we really want them mingled with our galactic society? Because they're more like a virus than they are beneficial. Though if they go hopping around different planets with their current attitude of greed and killing at all means to get it, that could impact our galactic societies. So, and then you could have people saying, no, they could evolve. They're evolving very rapidly. They may unlock certain intellectual mysteries of the universe that we have never been capable of doing so. So we really need, hopefully they will come to a peaceful means when they become more evolved and smarter.
Or we just say, "Oh shoot, we're not alone, and we gotta, as human beings, forget about what country, culture, whatever, and unite because there's."
Well, okay, here's the thing though. If aliens did come into this planet, either the United States will try to get friendly so we could use them against our adversaries, and China and Russia would do the same thing too, or any other country. They'll just try to ally with them so they could take out the adversaries.
Like in Dune. Mm-hmm. Where you take, you team up, take out a family or a culture, so you can just have your culture for the whole planet.
Yeah, I highly doubt that if aliens come here, we would unite. It'd be,
You never seen Independence Day?
yeah, I've seen Independence Day, but
We
they were being
united?
attacked on.
Yeah, we have to be attacked on.
I guess
to
we have
unite.
to be attacked like simultaneously around the world. Sure.
Yeah, for us to like wake up and
Be like, all right, we need to settle our differences, and we have bigger problems to deal with. But I think if there's visitors that coming in here, I think it's just like the U.S. will try to side with them and be like, hey, we want to progress, do this, but our adversary is here. Help us take them out, and then we can progress. With
how do
whatever
we know they're not here already?
Sure, they probably have been here. I mean, maybe they have the technology to camouflage themselves.
Well, look at all how advanced the technology has been since like World War II, right? Maybe we got like, I'm just piggybacking off of your theory. If your theory would be, correct, your hypothesis, you're looking at this, the bombs like Hiroshima and stuff got on their radar. You're like, holy cow, they have capability to destroy themselves in a big way, not just shoot themselves, stab themselves, caveman, rock over your head. That's probably when they started coming down, and they talk about the probes, and a lot of them, like the one in Arizona, like there's you can go down the rabbit hole about the probes and stuff like that, and it's pretty interesting. Maybe that does happen.
Or
We
one of
don't
these,
know.
or we're being groomed. We don't even know that we're being a military pawn that's being evolved for galactic warfare.
Maybe they're testing it out on Earth, and then they're going to take our. Maybe they don't have
We're
the
going to use
technology.
these monkeys for our battles in the front lines.
Yeah, maybe. Or our technology.
Because even if there is smarter beings out there, I mean, they probably view us the same way we view the next smartest being in the ocean, like dolphins. Like, we're not trying to build a society with them, share a society, communicate with them. It's impossible for us to communicate with them.
That could be the same thing.
Humans can't communicate with any other species but themselves. And, it's very hubris of us to believe that we can communicate with another species outside of this planet with infinite possibilities, but yet in our own planet, we can't communicate with another species. It's impossible for us.
You're right. We wouldn't be able to. You're right. If you had a bunch of dolphins from space come out here, we wouldn't be able to communicate. Mm-hmm. And to your point too, like just because they can get here and they have the technology to get here, they might not have the technology to use weapons. Maybe they're peaceful, and they never had that. They never had to think about weapons. They never had to create something that destroys another life because it's not programmed in them to have that instinct to hurt someone, right?
They don't have like very strong sense of aggression like humans would, right?
And maybe we're just a real aggressive, non-caring life form that they're not. That's why they don't want to communicate with us. Mm-hmm. That's why they're probably probing us.
Maybe they attempted, and we didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Well, there's rumors that they already have a contract with the U.S. and leaders saying that we'll take your technology, give us some of your technology, and we'll give you some people.
But who's to say we're going to understand that technology?
Yeah.
Right? It'd be like going back 2,000 years ago to cavemen and be like, here's a USB thumb drive connected to a computer. They have no idea what that means, let alone how it was.
Well, maybe they show them. Like they physically have an alien showing you what to do. Mm-hmm. Right? Like there's like stuff that they find in these hieroglyphics that looks like a computer, that looks like technology, that looks like a clock. And you're like...
I have a tough time with doing that with elderly people.
Yeah.
Let alone the average human being, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, technology-wise, we only understand ourselves. We have no understanding what these intergalactic beings are. Maybe they are peaceful, maybe they are not, maybe there's something else. And we can't help ourselves but to think they're humanoid, right? 2 eyes, a nose with 2 nostrils, 1 mouth with teeth, fingers, a hand, thumb.
Which would be crazy if they were, but maybe it's humanoid to a point and they have something, variation difference, right?
Or it's
bigger
like an
eyes.
octopus being. It could be anything.
It could
be a spider being, right? They maximize their abilities to have like 8 legs,
lizard
and utilize
people.
them, right?
Yeah, lizard people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't know. Till that day comes, if it ever comes, that would be crazy.
If we really knew of like aliens, we had them filmed, like they came here and landed, said what's up, and they left, how would the world react?
Or if they came and they're like, nope, shook their head, got back in and left, and then never see them again.
I'm sure they observe us like the same way we observe fish. Oh, cool, and leave.
What about the moon, too? Like, you know how they say that we never landed on the moon?
The moon landing?
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's not within my field of expertise at all, right? Because I like to listen to both, but the conspiracy theory is a little juicy.
Yeah, it's juicy because it was a race to get to the moon, and then we just stopped. Is it because it was just too expensive?
The U.S. was losing in every aspect of the space race except the moon landing. We weren't the first to go into space, to launch a human being out of space, to get rockets in outer space. The Russians won all that. But we miraculously passed them with the technology and sent people on the moon, landed there successfully, and came back alive. Which is very... a little suspect on that alone, but okay, I'll entertain it.
And with the technology,
American, I want to be like, yeah, hurrah, U.S.
And the technology, so like we fool them, we fool the world. How did we
surpass them in the technology when they're ahead of us?
I wonder if Neil Armstrong, when he is about to die, says
it's all BS.
It's all BS.
Maybe it is, maybe it is not.
Because like all those FBI guys at their deathbed, they say something. CIA guys like, yeah, we killed Kennedy.
Oh, sure, right?
And then he dies.
But at the same time, you technically can look at pictures of the moon and zoom in to where they landed and where they still have the flag planted. Maybe, right? Who's to say that's real or not? I won't know until I physically get there myself, right?
Well, if we're ever going to get there, like, why are we trying to get to Mars? Like, the moon's just a moon. It's not a planet that's going to have life on there.
Apparently they're doing a natural human being moon mission next year.
You think about the minerals and stuff that's on the moon.
Well, are they even useful, right?
Yeah. Or
I mean,
like-
we didn't know in the 70s how useful they'd be. Maybe if we go back there again and actually look, mind it, maybe see there's something that could be useful this time. Because we keep discovering new minerals that make a good use. So we have a better idea now with our evolved intelligence of like how we utilize minerals.
Watch they find vibranium. Wakanda forever.
I mean, it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
But the moon landing, what do you think? Did it happen? Did it not happen?
Part of me wants to say yeah, but part of me is like, how come we never went back? How come we didn't with the technology that
Well,
we
it's
have
expensive.
now?
I can defend that point that it's just
Okay, then-
unnecessarily expensive.
Then why did we go in the first place? Like, why do we
the
care?
space race bankrupt Russia because it was so expensive because they were competing with the U.S. The U.S. like it cost a lot of money.
It's like a government hobby. Oh, let's just see how much we can. Yeah, you're right. It's to bankrupt Russia, and maybe they fooled Russia. Like, haha, we didn't go, and you guys are broke. And we saved all this money by just hiring a producer and filmed in a warehouse or whatever. But I don't know. There's conspiracy theories for everything. So I want to say we got there, and we're not going to know until someone spills the beans, I guess. And until someone says of credibility says we did not go. Because that would change history completely
Absolutely.
if we lied about that, right? But there's the JFK assassination, Watergate. There's all kinds of stuff that's happened that we're like,
Well, maybe in the U.S., like let's just say it's not true, but in the U.S. we'll always say it's true. You'd have to leave the country, go somewhere else that proves that the U.S. never got there. Our media is kind of controlled for the most part. We only absorb what's in the U.S. You really have to like dig to listen to media outside the U.S.
oh, I do. I like watch Australian news coverage every once in a while. It's hilarious. They talk so bad about our Western culture, like what's going on in the U.S. It's we're a laughing stock right now. We're so against each other right now. Like Putin, Russia is talking bad about us.
Well, they always will. It's Russia still.
Well, yeah, but they're saying, they're fighting amongst each other, and they show all that kinds of stuff on that. But there's nothing. It's just the way every country is like that. France is in shambles. Spain, to a degree, was in shambles a couple of years ago. There's always fighting. I think that's one thing human beings like to do is fight. They don't like to talk things out because
We like to dream about the glory from victory in a fight. We want that glory of success that's been accomplished through battle.
yeah. And I think politics, like talking, doesn't always work because you see all these politics have meltdowns and they look like they're having just a hissy fit, a total mental breakdown sometimes. And usually it's they talk over each other and they get louder and louder. And then at the end of the day, you're like, you know what? This getting louder and louder is not working. Now it's time to get physical. I can hurt you more than you can hurt me. Okay, I have more weapons than what you have. I have more firepower than you have. And then so you go into the wars, the battles, all that.
I have a greater army. I have a greater navy.
Yeah.
Greater this. I have a greater that. They actually test each other.
It never ends. It never ends. So I don't know. I think as humans, we suck. We just suck.
Absolutely do. And if you were another intelligent life being, like, would you really come to the U.S. and conclude that there's actual intelligent life here? Out of the infinite possibilities of the universe?
No, they're probably looking at us going, you have such great technology and you have a wealth of this and that, but you have people dying of starvation in the same city?
Mm-hmm. You have all the means to keep people well fed, but you don't do it because you are overwhelmed by greed.
Yes, we are overwhelmed by greed.
I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson once quoted, and I think it's great, that aliens have came here and concluded there is no intelligent life here. They probably viewed us the same way we view like fish.
I heard him say that too. And it's true. We don't. There's intelligent people to a degree, but they're at the end of the day, we're a greedy society. And I think it's because technology's, getting better and better, and everyone wants the latest gadgets, the latest toys, and everything's so expensive. Then you get into the streaming services. You get into what they get you by what you pay monthly. You look at electricity's going up.
Desire, we have jealousy. We have a lot of these negative, impactful emotions that we have no control over.
Yeah.
It bests us every time. We
Yeah.
always want the latest, greatest stuff. Doesn't matter what lives it costs in another planet to achieve that.
And then we get sucked in this whole 9 to 5 BS fiasco crap that, you get 10 days off a year. It's like, dude, really? Like, that's all you get is
That's
10
all
days?
you get for your life that you're supposed to enjoy.
Yeah.
You put most of your life for another company to make them rich. And it's not even 8 hours. It's like there's your mindset to like get ready for work, the commute for work, the 4 hours, and then you have a break, 30-minute break, maybe an hour break, but it's not your time. It's still the company time because you're not at home. And then another 4 hours and then commute back. So you spend most of your day committed to someone else, another
Yep.
corporation.
5 days a week.
And you're just given a little decompression to just spend that money you just got for stupid materialistic stuff.
And then you end up, if you're at a lot of these companies where, your lunch break and you don't have a way to bring your lunch or something, then you have to go spend your money at like Chipotle or something. You're $15 a day eating out. It's an unhealthy cycle, but that's what we got used to. And it's just, you can't break that cycle unless you're an entrepreneur. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're working 70 hours a week.
Yep.
Because you're working for yourself. You're working 24/7, and that's even harder sometimes. Like what do you do? The 9 to 5, or do you do the entrepreneur thing that it might work out, it might not? So
Well, for an entrepreneur, the moment you take a little rest, you notice a decline in your revenue,
yes,
and it's scary.
it is, because then you want to go on vacation. You're like, oh, it's 10 days in Hawaii that I'm
You don't
using
get paid vacation.
No, it's your.
So if you're taking 2 weeks off, you know that's 2 weeks you're not making money. When you're like, man, I'd rather be making money,
Yeah.
because it is a scary thing to like not have money coming in.
No, it's rough. It's well, think about like all the people unemployed right now too, that don't have jobs. And it's rough right now. Like, okay, I got X amount of money in the bank, but if I'm not making money, I'm losing money.
Money puts us in a state of fear.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Money does control us, which sucks. We don't have a bartering system. We don't have any. We talked about basic income, but I don't think it will never work, because you're right. Anything given for free is not.
There's no value.
There's no value. So what do you do with?
And that's how we're learning with this inflation. There's a lot of money that was given out without any backing of means of getting it, like labor working for it.
And the Democrats want to spend more money, and the Republicans are saying no.
Dude,
I don't know.
I'll tell you this: they're arguing over small discretionary money. It's small things of like, oh, maybe some education. Republicans gonna say no, but they're still going to spend money on military. They're still going to spend money on like Social Security, like a lot of things that can't be touched.
You can't touch Social Security, not right now. And
The
at one
three
point,
biggest things that the government pays for is Social Security, healthcare, and the military.
military.
Everything else is just thin slices on that
Why
pie.
is healthcare so expensive? It's like ridiculously expensive.
And
You pay
people pay
so
it out of
much
pocket
money.
too, right?
You pay so much money on your paycheck for healthcare, and then when you need it, it still costs money.
It still costs a lot of money. And then plus the government has to chip in and pay for it too.
Yep. Healthcare is one thing I hate, and that's one thing like socialistic or other countries have is good healthcare. We have horrible healthcare. Oh, you pay more taxes. Well, I'd rather pay more taxes knowing that if I have cancer or something, I don't have to worry about paying millions of dollars that you'll never see. I'll be in debt millions of dollars, and then you might as well just shoot me. I mean, we deal with that with our parents, like with their health, and we see how expensive that is at their age. It's like, well, I had a number in mind when I want to retire, but if healthcare is this expensive, like if you look at Dad's paycheck because of his age, they take out a lot, and then when he needs to go to the doctor, they give him the runaround. It's like
They give him a runaround. He pays a copay on top of that.
Yep. It's like, come on, dude. He's paying a ton. I don't know. They just make too much money, and they make mistakes too. These doctors and nurses. You go to these staffs, and I feel like sometimes they have too many nurses. They're just laying around.
Too much staff, administration staff, there's too much going on.
Too much going on.
To
Like,
justify that cost, right?
yeah. Someone needs to rework the whole system and be like, you don't need 3 secretaries. Also,
Well, healthcare is not in like a position where doctors can compete for your business. That's why you don't see their prices listed up of what they can provide for you. It's not like a gas station like, oh, we can provide your service for this much. And another doctor's like, well, I can do the same service cheaper for this much.
Yeah, dentists are the same thing. Like, you don't know what you're paying for. They look at you first and like, it's going to cost X amount. Well, last month you told me it was just this amount. Oh, I might be able to get that same price. Well, what went up? I don't know. I think the whole healthcare system, dental, all that is a farce, but whatever.
But there's a lot of this is one thing people don't like to share is that people go for dental and health, like they go south of the border to Mexico.
Oh, there's a lot of people do that. I'm too scared to do that because if they screw up, like who do you blame?
Yeah, but the US, they screw up too, though.
Yeah, but I can at least.
But at least you can afford the healthcare in Mexico.
Yeah.
And of course, people here in the US are going to say it's not the same quality of care, this and that. It's like the next two American doctors are different. You have to know that the doctor here and the doctor across the street, they're both going to practice on you differently. That word practice, they're going to do it differently. It's no difference from the doctors in Mexico either.
That's true.
Or
That's
any
true.
other country, I should say, rather. And just here in the US, it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
Anyway, healthcare, everything's expensive. Pisses me off.
No, everything is crazy. What's next?
Sometimes I like to go on the Teamcast website, all kinds of topics up here.
All right, pick a topic.
Oh man, I don't know.
There's a lot.
Should we just go based off the headlines real quick?
Yeah, let's look at the headlines and let's just talk about what we think the headline is.
All right.
Let's do that. Let's just read the headline and let's give our interpretation.
Well, the first one is DeSantis says he would consider pardoning January 6 participants, including former President Donald Trump.
Ooh, that's pretty big. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you're pardoning people who raided the Capitol. You don't know what their intentions were.
But the door was open.
Was the door really open? Because I saw windows being smashed. And people
Yeah,
forcing
but that was vandalism, and there's a few bad apples. Let's be honest. What if they were like doing that on purpose? So
I also heard, like
makes
the
them look
door
bad.
being open for them, but the security was leading them.
Yes, I saw that
But
same video.
They were leading them away from the Congress people.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we saw them like opening doors for them and leading people, but I heard that they were leading the mob away from the Congress people.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, now that you say that, it makes sense. 100%. They were leading them
Like
on the other
Congress
side.
people were hidden in one area. They were just like, okay, just follow me. And they were following the mob, like, okay, away from the Congress people.
Oh, that makes sense. Absolutely, I could see that. Okay, that they were doing their job.
Plus, someone got killed there. They got shot.
I saw that too. Yeah, but if you're that guy with the gun and you're scared and you see a mob coming at you, I mean,
What's their
don't
intention? They're breaking in.
they're
They're breaking in. What do you think their intentions are going
Yeah.
to be? It's nothing
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
They're breaking windows. They're trying to get through
and
in the Capitol.
yeah, and is it justified? I don't know, but it stopped them from coming in.
Well, yeah, someone's got killed in front of them.
So they were like, "Oh crap, we can't go in this way because there's a guy with a gun." Yeah, the guy with the gun is scared of the mob. The mob comes in. He doesn't know if he's going to get beat up and trounced on. And
When people storm the capitals in other countries, there's a lot more violence than what the U.S. saw.
oh my
a
gosh,
a lot more death.
that was so Mickey Mouse. That storming or whatever. If you were in Syria, Lebanon, all these other countries, Turkey, those Congress people, you're dead or you're hostage. So don't say, you could be scared. I get that part, but it's not even close to what other countries would have gone through.
More than 1,333 defendants have been arrested in nearly all 50 states and the District of Columbia. So there's a lot of people who've been tried, and there's people up to 18 years because of January 6th.
Should they? I don't know. It depends on what the crime is. The guy that sat at Pelosi's desk, come on, he did his time. Get him out.
I mean, they clearly broke in, right?
Yeah, they broke in.
Trespassing, right?
Correct. But
I mean, if you're operating a business and a mob comes in, don't you want some justice that they broke into your business?
yeah, but look at Target and all these other places where like BLM and all those protests happen. Nothing happens to those people.
Are you sure they're not?
And they're like, oh, those are
Arrested?
justified for them. They don't say they're arrested. They don't say, hey, so and so was arrested for this, for going into the convenience store and stealing all their stuff. You know, when like,
Well, the stealing stuff is different if it's like California.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like all these states like California, they steal everything. But if you're the owner, like you're like, I want justice.
Yeah.
Like your rules suck.
So they can steal up to, what was it, $1,000 worth of stuff before the cops do anything?
Yeah, you can
And you have to
steal
prove that it's
$1,000
$1,000 worth of stuff?
$1,000 worth of stuff in front of a cop. You're
Like,
fine.
why keep your business in California then if you're a
That's
small
why they're
business owner?
closing a lot of them out, which makes sense. I would too.
I'm like, am I allowed to stand my ground and shoot people who are trying to cause harm to me?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like, no, not.
no, not in
Not
California.
in California.
No, they say that you can't hurt someone, stop someone, or whatever. I think there was a Lululemon store, I think in California. Two of the employees got fired because they called the cops on people stealing. I was
People
just
are
like,
stealing. Come here. We're arresting you for.
yeah,
calling in.
you wasted our time. You guys, here's your ticket. And like, I'd be like, dude, this is like bizarro world. Like, what is going on here? Mm-hmm. You're like, we thought we're doing the right thing by calling the cops and telling you that people are stealing high quality, expensive stuff. Mm-hmm. Instead, we're getting fired. Like, how does that go on the resume? Oh, you says you worked at Lululemon. You don't work there. And what happened? Well, I got fired because I called the cops on
Vandalism.
Yeah, vandalism.
People stealing from the
Yeah.
shop. So I guess I was supposed to sit there and just take it.
Correct.
But all right. Well, that's for that topic. Next one is Arizona officials Arizona's officials congesting traffic with road diets to fight climate change. All right. So
Open that up. I think I know what they're talking about, and it's BS.
I don't know. Okay, they're throwing out terms, right? Road diet, whatever that means. So something else we have to learn new and nod our heads as if we know what they're talking about. Sure.
There's the plan. Look at the plan right here. Look at this plan. And what are they trying to accomplish?
Are they trying to make Chandler into like another New York where there's less cars and they want you to ride public transportation and walk more in the freaking heat?
Yeah, it's too hot here to do that, first of all. Second of all, they're thinking, oh, we're going to have less traffic because it's 3 lanes on each side, and we're going to cut it down to 1 lane with the bus lane being in the middle. That means those people in the cars, they're not going to stay home. They're just going to drive on different streets.
Oh yeah, I avoid Arizona Avenue anyway.
Yeah, you're going to avoid Arizona Avenue, but you did nothing for the emissions. You just congested a major street, a busy street. Arizona Avenue is going to be so congested if it's down to 1 lane on each side.
It's already bad enough as it is.
It's 3 lanes on each side, and it's already bad.
So they just say use public transportation. Use public transportation. We're gonna be like, I don't know, next in New York or something.
No, it's not safe.
No one likes using public transportation.
No.
Yeah, it's not safe. I used to take the light rail when we used to go to ASU. Do park and ride. Park the car there. Take the light rail. Go to ASU because parking at ASU is too expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's always someone sketchy there. Every time, every
Not
trip.
just that. You'd have like I don't want to say gang members, but you'd have like sketchy groups of kids in there, and they're looking for trouble because they're being loud and they're doing stuff, and you're like, oh, please don't look at me, please don't look at me.
I've seen so many arguments
I've seen arguments and fights.
and fights on the light rail all the time.
And sometimes because people go out, they go drinking or whatever, and they jump on the light rail and they're like say something to someone, and they don't like their response. They're like, "Oh yeah, you think
Hit
you're a
on a
tough guy?"
girl, the boyfriend's right there.
Oh yeah,
just like stuff like
I've seen that too, and it just sucks.
I've
You're
heard
like,
racist things on the light rail
there's
too.
always racist thing, yeah, because like
And it's not just like white people saying racist stuff. I've heard like Latinos and blacks say racist things to white people, and it's just like racism is just it's not
racism
one
is just
sided.
no,
it's not
just,
one sided. It's just.
But that's the
it is
easiest
what
way
it
to
is.
get into an altercation or fight is by saying, "Hey, something, something," and you're
Right.
like, "Oh, okay, ¿qué dijiste?" And you're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So no, this whole diet plan is stupid. Like it's
I'm not a public transportation person.
not,
I'd rather
not in
stay
Arizona.
in my car.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
Too hot.
You have to have AC. You can't be walking down the street. Like this is like bizarre to me. Like how dead is that middle lane of buses gonna be? Like majority of the day. Mm-hmm. You're not. It's not gonna like bus after bus, and are you gonna make transportation cheaper? Like
No, they're not.
Yeah. No, it's not gonna work. Next.
We're just going to go through. We just need electric vehicles if they're worried about emissions.
Do you like electric vehicles? Do you like electric cars?
I think that is the future, and we can only innovate better from there.
My buddy just got a Tesla Y, and it is awesome. I was against electric cars for the longest time, and kind of still am. But after driving in that, I'm like, oof, I want one.
But again, to charge it, that's still coming from fossil fuel plants, right? Unless your house with solar panels can support it. Sure, that's one means, right?
That's why they're pushing solar so much. There's always there's always a reason why something's happening. Oh, electricity is going up. You should get solar panels. Solar panels are expensive.
Yeah, I was reading it for my new upcoming house. For me to break even is going to be 12 years.
But here's the problem with that. It's not like in 12 years, what if you want to buy another house?
Yeah, you can't just take them with you.
What if you want to move? Like, no.
I mean, you add it to the value of the house, I guess, but
Well, some people don't value solar panels.
mm-hmm.
So if
like,
they
I don't want solar panels, take them off.
yeah, like I don't want them anyways. Like I'm not paying you extra for something I'm not going to utilize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah, I digress. Next one. So
here we go.
we were just talking about this a little bit. That Target warns of extremist violence in internal threat overview memo following Pride collection boycott. So another company taking a chance on Pride. Of course, they're dealing with backlash, right? But they didn't learn from Bud Light. They didn't learn from any of these companies. I'm still trying to understand why this is all in our face. Like,
It's so mainstream media. It's everywhere.
here's the thing. It's I understand when you're marketing, you're targeting an audience who'd be interested in a certain product. Like for example, you're on Facebook. Facebook knows you like baseball. You're gonna see a lot of baseball stuff, right? But if you're like have zero care for, let's just say shuffleboard, but they keep giving you shuffleboard advertisements, you're like, dude, I keep hitting the not interested part, but you keep shoving it in my face. I'm now irritated. I feel that's like the same thing. It's like, okay, cool, LGBTQ plus, they have their own thing. It's not for me. It's not my preference, but at least they have a spot. But it's like they keep shoving it in your face. Like, okay, like this is not my preference. It's not my thing. Like, can you please stop like getting in my face with this? So, to me, I feel that's where a lot of the pushback is. It's like, please stop trying to force this on me, because it feels very forced. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's just in our face, and the LGBT is a community. It's not a large community, but like there's a bigger community of Christians, Mormons, Muslims. How come we're not pushing any of that stuff out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's an agenda. I don't know what the agenda is. Is it acceptance? Because I accept them. Like,
Well, it'd be like, okay, should we start pushing Islam in the United States and get rid of Christian values?
yeah, would be so much pushback on that.
I mean, okay, so what about the current values of just, the family life, husband, wife, kids?
No, doesn't.
Now they're pushing LGBT on it. It's
No.
like, do you not want me to have kids?
Because it's the opposite of what LGBT is the whole family, husband, wife, those kind of values. They're getting rid of. You're right. In a way, it's like, I don't know, man. This is a bad rabbit
clearly,
hole that you're
two men
getting
and
into.
two men and two women can't produce, right? Of course, like, oh, you can always stop, but it
Yeah.
took a male and a female to produce that child.
Correct.
But okay, I mean, if that's your thing, LGBT, and that's your community, that's fine. I just don't need it in my face like all the time and telling me I have to abide by these norms or otherwise I'm gonna be labeled as a piece of crap. It's like, do your thing. It's cool. Like, I just don't need it shoved in my face.
Yeah, but they do anyways. Like, hey,
Okay, should we start shoving Islam down Americans' throats and be like, you have to accept this? No,
No, 'cause
push back.
it's
If you push
complete-
back, you're a piece of crap.
because Islam is against LGBT,
Well,
like big time.
like, I know a lot of Muslim friends, and I don't give them a hard time. I have a lot of gay friends. I don't give them a hard time. I
Yeah.
just don't need their agenda shoved in my face all the time.
Well, I mean, my Muslim friends don't shove it down my throat.
I mean, yeah, mine don't either. And my gay friends don't do that too. But for some reason,
Yeah.
there's like an extremist. I mean, I guess every community has their extremists too, and that's who's shoving in our face.
Yeah, but you're throwing transgender and gay are completely different. I have gay friends who are totally against transgender
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
I have
completely
that too.
different. I
have
mean,
that
they
too.
say this is like BS, and I don't want to be associated with this.
I know a lot of people who want to stop it at B, LGB. Everything else is they should be their own separate community, not mixed with ours.
100%.
I've had those conversations. It's hard for me to express an opinion because I'm not in any of those communities, but I kind of listen. I try to understand.
Well, that's all you can do is try to understand that point of view. But you're right. Like I've had many conversations with I don't want to say who people that I talk to quite a bit that are involved in my life that I care about that are gay, and they tell me not one of them is for this trend. At first they're like, oh, it's kind of what we went through with coming out of the closet, but now they're like, this is extreme. Like I don't want this pushed in people's faces and then be associated with it. Like,
That's the thing associated. Like it'd be like me as a Mexican telling everyone has to celebrate or everyone should have tacos on Tuesdays. And if you don't have a taco on Tuesday, you offended me, and I can call you a piece of crap now.
that's a good analogy. You're right. Or you being Mexican.
Yeah, people be like, I love tacos, but I'm not gonna eat it every
Yeah.
Tuesday, man. Like, and I have plenty of Mexican friends, but I don't need your agenda on eating tacos every Tuesday on me.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's I don't know. It's not going away anytime soon, and it's dividing us. And it's like the media loves it. That's why you're going to see it in the media over and over and over again, because they like getting a rise out of the right. The right gets pissed off.
That's what it is. It's getting a rise out of all this, getting people pissed off because that's what sells. That's what gets clicks.
Oh,
That's what gets video views.
Hopefully, it gives us clicks. So we're talking about transgender.
I
It gives
guess
us
so.
clicks.
So I mean, I guess you fall. It's like we all fall for the trap. Like, oh, they're talking about LGBT. I'm against it, or I'm for it, and I want to be part of this fight. And you read the articles, you see the videos, and now you're part of.
Yeah,
Now your eyes are on, and then advertisements are being thrown in your face now.
but if you're not for them, you're against them. You notice
That's
that?
what I hate. That it's like
If you don't support me, you're against me. You don't. If you don't like this, then you hate us. And no, I just don't care. Like, cool, you do you, I do me. Like, I'm not asking you to bear the cross on you or accept what I believe to be reality. Like, I don't push my agenda on you. Don't push yours. And if I don't agree with it, don't say that I'm against it, because then you get all your friends to say I'm against it. It is what it is. I think it's BS, that part where.
I mean, I feel like this whole things with media, mass media too, keep bringing it up. It feels like it's almost devised to just keep us at odds at each other while there's bigger things
It
going
is.
on, right? Like the military-industrial complex with Ukraine, that proxy war, right, with Ukraine and Russia. The military-industrial complex is making money again.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh, we can't have them look our way. Transgender, you should be pissed off and you should be for it and go at it and recruit. That's how it feels like. I honestly feel like that's the thing. Like we're squabbling at each other over things that really don't matter when there's bigger things going on.
Yeah, I think the community, like, I don't know, like we just talked about again, like, if you don't agree with it, then you're against it. Like, okay, I don't agree with it. All right. I don't, it's not part of my lifestyle. It's not how I was raised, but I'm not against it.
Just because I'm a Christian
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm not going to associate people who are Muslim. I have Muslim friends. Yeah, I'm not going to believe their beliefs and their agenda, but I can coexist with them and have a good time with them.
Yeah. I mean,
But now, mass media, everyone's telling you should be pissed off at this, and they're trying to force this in your face.
and it's working. It's working. There's a lot of
I think
pissed
it's
off.
just a small extremist group who's trying to force it in your face, but everyone else in those communities are probably like, we don't have to be this aggressive.
Yeah. Just don't go to those places. Don't associate. It's just, again, you don't have to agree with it, but like with us, like in our family, like I don't get it, but I'm not against it.
Our family members are not like pushing it on us.
No, they don't
Right?
push it, and they don't. It took me a while to go from her to they.
Well, I still struggle with that. Personally.
Well, you're in a struggle. I was like where you were. I was struggling forever, but now I can say they and understand it because grammatically it doesn't make sense. Right.
I think that's what gets me the most. Grammatically, it doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to.
So I went to school for all these years to screw me up, but I understand what if they're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's all it is. If you're happy, cool. Just don't push it, and don't say that that's the right. Don't say that that has to be the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
It's your lifestyle. Just leave it at that. And you have a community. Be happy.
And then there's this video I'm gonna pull up with the whole Target thing.
Let's see what's this about.
This one's new. It's just this is probably what they're talking about. People going in and vandalizing things.
Oh, nice punch, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Why even film yourself committing the crime?
vandalism. Guilty.
I think there was another one
Guilty.
of. Oh, this one's the more popular one, right?
Hey, do you guys support the satanic pride propaganda?
Yeah, both
You support it?
Satan
Let me pause.
and pride.
You support Satan?
So the lady who answered, she works at Target, barely paying attention to this guy. Maybe she's being intentionally being condescending, right? Just like, here's a guy, he's seeking attention, he's filming me on this video, trying to, another difficult customer. Right? If you work in customer service today, you deal with difficult customers daily.
Daily.
It's bad, especially the sense of entitlement.
Well, we talked about customer service sucks. I had
Right.
someone reach out.
So this lady's attitude, I can understand, because dealing with a difficult customer. I'll keep playing this.
See? What's God gonna think of that?
I don't believe that.
So what's God going to think of that? She doesn't believe in God. So this guy has an agenda that she doesn't agree with. So now there's already a conflict. Like, oh, so you don't agree with my beliefs, therefore you're a piece of crap. Let's just say everything she said is true, because I think she's just being condescending, just like already just like not happy being in this conversation. Right?
But
But
she
still, you can't
represents
force that against them.
she represents Target right now.
Yeah, right now she represents Target. That's true.
She should have said no comment, sir.
No comments. I'm just getting paid $12 an hour. I'm just doing my job.
I'm just doing my job.
If you don't like it here, you can go somewhere else.
I don't feel comfortable expressing my beliefs with a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Is all
We're being
she
filmed right now.
and being filmed.
All right, continue on.
Did you need help with something?
You support the propaganda that's targeting kids?
There's nothing targeting kids.
It's all over kids' TV shows. It's all over.
She has nothing to do with that.
To wear whatever they want.
She has nothing. Yeah, she has nothing to do with it. She's just again gets paid $12 an
Look
hour.
at her eyes. She's just like, ugh, I don't want to
I
deal
know,
with this
right?
guy.
It's just like, gosh, like how do I get out of this situation?
You support the sexualization of kids through pride propaganda by
Sir,
corporate?
is there something that we can help you with?
I'm just asking people questions. What about you, sir? Do you
I'm
support
not
this?
asking any questions, but if you're here to cause any disturbance in the store,
I'm just asking questions. Do you work
but
for
you're
Target?
disrupting.
Do you work
Yes,
for Target?
I do actually.
Where's your nameplate?
I'm the undercover loss prevention.
Not anymore.
I'm just asking questions. So do you support this satanic?
Undercover loss prevention. Yeah, that is a title.
Yeah, but he's not undercover anymore because now you know who he is.
Well, he compromised himself, but
Yep.
he's doing it he's intervening, right? He sees that one of his coworkers is dealing with a difficult customer. So I get that. And it's just like,
She should just walk away then. She should say, okay, if there's nothing else I can help you with, I gotta
thank you for your time. Have a
thank
good
you for your
day."
time. Let us know if you need anything.
I mean, I guess they're trying to de-escalate the
Yeah.
situation, right?
But as long as he's not bothering like people that work there, not people that work there, people that are coming in to shop and saying this is bad, that's one thing. But right here, they both can walk away. And they
probably
should
walk away right now.
they should walk away. Okay, you don't need anything, let us know if you need anything. And just keep an eye on them.
All right, this is my name. Have a good day. Let me know if you need anything. But he's pestering them still, right?
Propaganda?
I'm not
Like she
answering
does?
you, but
He's just asking questions.
what you need to do is you either need to leave the store.
God will judge you guys.
Okay.
Cool.
Can't. You won't invite.
And also, is that our shirt?
Yeah, it is.
Are you going to purchase that shirt?
Hey, ma'am, do you support this?
Boom.
I just said.
See?
Support pride propaganda?
Stop.
Whoa!
He's disturbing other
Yeah.
customers.
You just
Whoa,
said you're not
man.
buying it.
I'm gonna buy it and burn it.
Okay, that's your choice. You can totally do that.
Well, what I said is you need to leave. You can't ask anybody any more questions. You can't disrupt
Freedom of
any
speech. Call the police.
Well, I mean, I guess a business has a right to refuse business to someone, right?
Yeah.
Ask them to leave.
Yeah. Well, because now he's
Call.
being a nuisance.
I don't care, dude. You think I care if you trespass? I've done this 1,000 times. You guys are satanic.
Okay, making claims. You're satanic.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he's going a
Really?
little too far. He's
Yeah.
going too far. I don't agree with his tactics. He's just ask a question like, "Wow, you guys are really selling this?" That's all you have to say. And if they say yes, go, "Oh, cool."
I mean, I don't agree with this guy at all.
No, not well. He's going too far.
He's going way too far. He's making a scene.
Yeah, now he's making a
telling
scene.
people they're satanic.
Yeah,
It's just because he has a set of beliefs, and people they don't. If they're not aligned with his beliefs, they're a piece of crap, and he thinks he could just like mock them and call them names. Like, no.
Isn't that what LGBT is doing?
Well, how? In what way?
Like, they mock people if you don't believe them.
Now, are we saying all of LGBT does that, or is it just a small
Small
extremist
numbers,
group,
some
right?
small extremist group, just like this.
Small extremist group. That's where I'm trying to separate from, for the most part, is the extremists to people who are our neighbors who are cool, right?
Yeah,
Who are not shoving things in my face, and I don't shove things in their face too, and we have a mutual respect with that.
correct.
But this is what the media shows, and they're
Yep.
like, you should be pissed because this is who they are on a daily basis. It's like, no, there's just small, attention-seeking, grabbing people out there who align with certain communities. Some of those communities try to distance themselves from them too.
Yep.
It'd just be like us, like we know there's crazy Mexicans out there
Ethan Schmidt. That's his name.
versus Target. Oh yeah, good job, bro. You made a fool of yourself all over Twitter.
Pretty much. I mean, I get where he's coming from. He's just probably super passionate. He probably has kids and he doesn't want that to happen. I get his fight. But let it be. Don't you think your parenting is good enough to like keep teaching your kids how you want them to be taught?
So I mean,
Are you
could it be blown out
scared?
of proportion? I mean, yes. Target lost in one of the articles says they lost $9 billion worth of value, right? That meaning their stock price went down. And it was worth
Yeah.
$9 billion down. They mean they actually lost $9 billion cash.
No, it's just of their stock price, which
Right.
they can go back up.
You can go back up, right?
Yeah, and a lot of backlash on it. We'll see what happens. I know when I went in there, I was like, wow, right in the front. I mean, you can
So
have a section.
Is it just like, oh, your kid's going, what's that? Be like, what do you say? Just don't worry about it. It's not for us. We don't associate.
No,
with
I
that.
don't have to say anything. They know. I think they're at the crazy age where they see it, right? And it's not for them. So they're smart enough to know what it is, and for them at this point in time, it's not for them. They're not associated in that. You
Maybe
know?
it's just the people who are like super against, pride, LGBT, and they see a hint of it.
Yeah, they see a hint of it and they
go
blow
berserk.
up. They go berserk, and they don't want that for their kids. And I get it, but at the end of the day, you can't control that.
Because I'm starting to think maybe Target's just trying to appeal to every audience, and they have a small sliver that's LGBT. And they're like, hey, we got a
Very
section
small.
for you too.
That has to be very small.
We have a section for you too to shop at and feel comfortable at.
Yeah, it's a section.
Unless Target came up and said we are being 100% LGBT, all of our merchandise is going to be LGBT.
You're
with
out of
rainbows.
business.
Yeah, sure.
You
I
will
can
be
see
out of
that,
business.
right?
The reason why I say you're out of business is that you're gonna have all this retail space, and it's just LGBT, and you're not gonna sell regular stuff. You're gonna go out of business.
So all their milk is meat from gay cows only.
I don't even know if there's a gay cow. There has to be now, I guess. LGBT cows.
Yeah, I mean, LGBTQAI plus cows.
Yeah, interesting.
No, but I'm sorry. I think it's just getting a little ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah, it's just getting too much in your face, and there's more. The right side's getting pissed off, and the media sees
well,
that.
it
And
doesn't
they
take much to
push
piss people
more.
off, and I think that's just the attention that all they need, so the media can get their clicks.
I agree. What's next?
I think that was about it, honestly. I have nothing else unless you want to talk about anything else that goes on in this world.
Oh, that's pretty much it for this week. Yeah, I guess. Let's see. We talked about portfolios, UFOs. Hey, let's do a review. Put up Fruitlandia.
All right,
I took my son there.
Fruitlandia?
He went to visit my mom's. There you go, Fruitlandia Chandler. And she had my son wanted ice cream, and I was like, hey, there's this place down the
Is that
street.
what it looks like?
Yep, that's it. Let's go check it out. My mom's like, oh, that's a good place. I want to check it out. Tell me what you think. And I was like, interesting, Spanish, Mexican stuff, desserts. Let's go check it out. And my mom had a buy one, get one. And I was like, oh, score. It can't be that expensive. That right there, that mango thing is $14.
Holy crap! Really?
That churro thing right there, that's what my son got. $14. I think it was $13.99.
You think that's an intentional price gouge, or is it just
I don't know. It's too
Just
freaking
inflation.
expensive. That is so expensive. Even that buy one get one that was expensive.
Do you think if it was just like fresh ingredients, no high fructose corn syrup or additional sugar?
Maybe, yeah, because I got a raspado, which was mango and pineapple with chamoy and tahini. It was delicious. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I told my son, this is like a one-off. Like, we can do this once every 6 months because it's expensive. Like, that mango thing, I bet you is delicious. That churro, it was fantastic. It really was. $14 worth? Dude, I'd rather go get a thing of milk or ice cream at Fry's
Oh yeah.
for $3.99.
Oh yeah.
And
'Cause- yeah. I went to Fry's and I saw like, was it Breyer's ice cream for $5 for like a half gallon of ice cream? It's like all I need. That'll last me a week
Yeah,
if
100%.
I'm eating it all the time too.
100%.
But like one
One
treat-
sitting is $15. Like, dude, and then 2 people getting that. If you didn't have a coupon, it's a $30 dessert. Dude, you can eat like a king at Chili's probably for $30. Shoot, we eat like crazy. We eat like kings at for your birthday at Black Angus.
Yeah.
That's the place we went for food. You know, we could
Well,
review
how much
that.
that was a person? Would you say?
It's $33 a person. You had a appetizer, which was like a half appetizer. But dude, we all
Decent
got
sized appetizer.
dude. We got the potato skins, and they gave you 3 big ass potato
They were
skins.
3 big potato skins. Yes.
Yeah,
they
you
were.
almost got, dude. I almost got full off of that alone. It was delicious. Then you got your choice of entree, and we all got filet mignon. You get ribeye, whatever. Filet mignon and 2 sides.
6-ounce filet mignon, and then we had 2 sides that came with it,
Yep.
and they topped off with a dessert.
And a big dessert. It was a big dessert. That is probably 3,000
Good
calories.
individual sized dessert.
No, it was big.
I mean,
Those desserts
Black
were
Angus
big.
did not cheap out on us at all.
No,
So
it was-
I thought the value you got for, was it $30 a
33
person?
bucks a person.
Yeah, that was good value.
It's
I'll admit
because
that.
it was restaurant week.
Oh, it was restaurant.
Yeah,
rate,
it's
huh?
restaurant week, and that's why it was cheaper. You're not going to get that normally because we look at the menu. Filet mignon's was $31.
Mm-hmm.
So for $2 extra, you got all that.
Restaurants in general are expensive right now, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Period. But
I mean, I went for tacos, and tacos were like $4 a pop.
easy. Even Taco Bell is expensive.
No, not even taco. I'm talking about like a legit taco. Well, I went to Backyard Tacos.
Yeah, I still gotta try that. Yeah,
Ah, you haven't? Okay.
that might be that. That'll be maybe I'll go.
Because my girlfriend loves tacos. She loves carne asada tacos, and I took her there, and she loved the place. Because it was
She
like,
did?
it's legit tacos.
Oh, I have carne asada in the fridge right now. I made over the weekend
I was
or
gonna say,
yesterday.
let's try it out so you can say you officially tried it. Or the Philly cheesesteak place.
Where's the Philly cheesesteak place at?
Is it Alma School and Ray?
That's close. We should try that today.
You want to?
Yeah, well, right after this,
All right, we'll film it, and then we'll tell people about
and
it.
we'll be like, yeah, we're eating this place, pretty good. That or backyard taco. No, I'd rather get Philly cheesesteak. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll film that, or at least get a review and see what it tastes like, and go from there.
Right.
But that's pretty much all I have for this week. You know, we're about almost 2 hours. That's good for this week, right? Nothing on the. I don't see anything in the foreseeable future. We both saw
Oh,
Guardian of the Galaxy. That was good.
We might not be available next 2 weeks. Well,
Next week for sure, and then you're
next
the
next weekend you're going to be in California, and the weekend after that I'm going to be in Sedona. So we're going to have to find time to film in the middle of the week.
Yep, we might have to do a Thursday night special, maybe a shorter episode, but something just to get out,
Yeah.
and hopefully get some shorts that we didn't produce that we have at least content, just even if it's older, just to put out, so we're in your head and you can see, you know, what we have going on. Again, you know, we're doing this just to create a community in a sense of, you know,
It's building up for sure.
yeah, which is cool. Thank you for that. But we like when people comment, right? We
Even the
like
trolls.
engagement. You get a lot of engagement from people that aren't subscribed. So I'm trying to reach out to those people and say, hey, stick around. Stick around and see what we have.
Well, I noticed that like YouTube's algorithm that the more content we produce and someone looks at it, even if they're not subscribed, they'll probably see our stuff again
Yeah.
to see if it still sparks
Which is
interest. And
cool.
they keep coming back, and then they eventually subscribe and comment and
Hopefully.
add to it.
Yep.
And of course, we're not subject matter experts in anything, too, right? Like,
Correct.
if there's something we said that totally not right, please comment, correct us. We're happy to be corrected.
Yep. That's all I got, man.
All right. Have a good one, everyone.
Peace out.